It feels like every time we think we have heard the worst about the tension between activists and security agencies in Nigeria, something new drops that makes the previous stories look like child's play. We are dealing with a developing story today that is quite frankly terrifying because it involves a reported plot to not just silence but physically eliminate one of the most vocal critics of the government. This is not about an arrest warrant or a court case anymore. According to an exclusive report that has just hit the airwaves, there is a fresh, sinister scheme brewing within the highest echelons of the Nigeria police force to end the life of Omoyele Sowore. This information is coming from deep within the force itself, from officers who are reportedly uncomfortable with the directives they are hearing, and it paints a picture of a desperate hierarchy willing to go to extreme lengths to shut down a persistent voice of dissent. The details coming out of this exclusive report are chilling. Sources close to the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, have leaked information about a high-powered team that has allegedly been assembled with one singular objective: to eliminate Sowore. The motive? It appears the police leadership is tired of the constant exposure. Sowore has been a thorn in their flesh, relentlessly reporting on police corruption, the alleged illegality of the IGP's appointment, and internal favoritism. But now, the strategy seems to have shifted from legal prosecution to something much darker. The report details two specific scenarios that have been discussed by these top officers. The first one sounds like something out of a crime thriller. The plan allegedly involves manufacturing a petition against Sowore from a northern state. They would use this petition as a pretext to arrest him on cybercrime charges. But the arrest is just a cover. The real plan, according to these sources, is to transport him by road to this northern state for prosecution. It is during this long road trip that a staged accident would be orchestrated. The goal is to make his death look like a tragedy of bad roads or reckless driving, effectively eliminating him without pulling a trigger in public. If that sounds horrifying, the second option reportedly on the table is just as brutal. Sources say officers have discussed tracking Sowore during one of his own road trips. They would wait for him to approach a police checkpoint, stage a confrontation, and attack him right there. The narrative they would sell to the public afterwards is that he was stubborn or that he resisted lawful orders, justifying the use of lethal force. This is the level of danger we are talking about. It is no longer about charging him to court. It is about creating a scenario where he doesn't make it to court alive. You have to wonder why the hostility has reached this fever pitch in late 2025. Well, insiders say IGP Egbetokun has grown increasingly angered by Sowore's public assertions that his tenure as Inspector General is illegal. This isn't just a social media rant. The claim has reportedly gained traction even among the rank-and-file officers at the force headquarters, who now whisper about it in coded conversations. When the junior officers start doubting the legitimacy of their boss because of a journalist's reporting, you can imagine the tension that creates at the top. Furthermore, Sowore's spotlight on the rapid and controversial rise of certain officers like Yemisi Kuti has fueled the fire. You will recall the reports exposing how Kuti rose to the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police in just a decade, a pace many dedicated officers found unfair and linked to her personal relationship with the IGP. By keeping these stories in the news, Sowore has reportedly made himself a target that the hierarchy feels cannot be ignored. Before we go deeper into the names of the senior officers allegedly involved in this plot, I need to take a quick second to ask you to please support this channel. We are bringing you the stories that powerful people want to keep hidden. If you appreciate this update, please smash that like button right now. It helps the video spread to more Nigerians who need to be aware of what is happening. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We are tracking this story hour by hour, and you don't want to miss the next update. Now, let's name names because the report was very specific. Apart from the IGP's office, other senior officers have been implicated in these hostile discussions. One name that keeps popping up is Commissioner of Police Akin Fakorede, the head of the IGP's monitoring unit. Sources allege that Fakorede is scheming to become the Delta State Commissioner of Police and is furious about the negative coverage he has received from SaharaReporters. It was Fakorede's unit that recently arrested Sowore and ordered banks to release his financial records in an attempt to embarrass him, an effort that yielded no incriminating evidence. But it gets worse. Fakorede is allegedly the one who oversaw the deployment of officers who attacked Sowore at the Force Intelligence Department, leaving him with a broken hand. There's even a mention of a conversation between Fakorede and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, where Fakorede complained about Sowore's attacks, to which Wike reportedly replied that the matter would be addressed later. Another figure mentioned is the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Moshood Jimoh. He previously declared Sowore wanted in Lagos without any prior provocation and allegedly assembled a squad to target him during a protest in Oworonshi. The squad reportedly failed to locate him before he left the area, but the intent was clear. And then there is the involvement of CSP Adamu Shaba, the Chief Security Officer to Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma. Shaba has been implicated in the horrific atrocities at the infamous Tiger Base in Owerri, another story Sowore has been exposing. Shaba is described as one of the IGP's most dangerous allies and has reportedly been drafted into this plot because he has a lot to lose if the spotlight on Tiger Base continues. The context of 2025 is important here. Sowore has already been arrested 3 times this year alone. His passport was seized back in January by Justice M.S. Liman of the Federal High Court in Abuja, and despite repeated adjournments, it hasn't been returned. The most recent escalation happened after the #FreeNamdiKanuNow protest in Abuja. Sowore was granted bail by a magistrate, but while he was still at the court premises trying to perfect his bail, he was attacked by a CSP identified as Barao from the anti-vice unit. Witnesses saw him being forcibly taken and driven to Kuje Correctional Center, where he spent 3 nights. The magistrate was reportedly intimidated, asked to switch off phones and leave the premises just to frustrate the bail process. This pattern of using the judicial system as a weapon and now allegedly planning a physical elimination shows a dangerous escalation. The SDSS has even joined the fray, recently charging him with cybercrime for allegedly calling President Tinubu a criminal. But this police plot stands out because it bypasses the courts entirely. If these sources are correct, the plan is to ensure there is no defendant to stand trial. It's a permanent solution to a problem that the authorities feel they can no longer manage legally. The police hierarchy has not officially responded to these weighty allegations yet, but the silence is deafening. When you have specific details about staged accidents and checkpoint attacks being discussed by officers sworn to protect citizens, it calls for an immediate and independent investigation. This is a developing situation, and the safety of Omoyele Sowore is now a matter of national and international concern. The exposure of this plot might be the only thing keeping it from being executed, as the element of surprise is now lost. But we must remain vigilant. We will continue to monitor the movements of the key players mentioned, IGP Egbetokun, Commissioner of Police Akin Fakorede, and the others. What do you think about these shocking allegations? Do you believe the police would go as far as staging an accident to eliminate a critic? And what does this say about the state of our democracy in 2025 if dissent is met with death threats? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I read all of them. And once again, if you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and share it with everyone you know. The world needs to see this. Subscribe if you are new here and stay tuned for more updates. Stay safe and keep your eyes open.